About time. I was starting to get fed up.
Tell me about it. Oh, this is my third extended shift this week.
Well, hang in there, mate.
Eat whatever takes your fancy, my friends. You look like you've had...
Ah, the journey wasn't so bad.
Where...
From Trusky.
That's Sir Otto von Burgo's domain.
We were in...
My God.
Simple.
Absolute.
Actually, it was pretty.
Well...
And we...
And...
Actually...
What are you saying?
Me and my lords were sent to negotiate. He pretended he was willing to cross...
And if that wasn't a...
But why...
Ah, but they didn't, sir.
Here?
Not just here.
And that's all... It seems... So he's...
We've got to secure the fort. But I'm great, bring that... How...
It's...
Where do you know... Yes.
And Cat...
I'm sure... And anyway...
Aye.
As I said, where...
Where...
What?
Where...
I have... Let's just say that after an exchange of opinions, they agreed it would be best if they... I'm sure if you're interested in...
What was dry...
Waging war, if you can call it that. It made...
Why is Yobs taking such risks? He almost put himself in Sigismund's reach.
To do what he's been doing all his life.
One could put it that way. He's seeking allies amongst the undecided lords, and winning over to our side some of the ones who've sided with Sigismund.
He wants to make deal?
Alas, that's the way it goes in politics. The majority lean towards the side where they expect the least problems. Just between us, I'm not too pleased myself about Yob's strategy, and I'm the last one who'd wish for violence.
What do you think about all of this, sir? Sigismund, Wenceslas, Jobst?
What kind of question is that?
No, that's not how I meant it.
Henry here sometimes forgets to weigh his...
That's all right. To be frank, we all know that King Wenceslas isn't the great man his father Charles was. But that is the way of the world. History is full of kings who didn't know how to wear the crown. The blood running in their veins is more important than what's in their heads. He's not a capable ruler. What of it? In my opinion, kingship is above all a guarantee of divine peace. A sovereign's greatest asset is his legitimacy.
But what if the sovereign is truly bad? If he's mad, say?
I'll put it this way. Nobody lives forever, lad.
Least of all bad kings. Isn't that right, sir?
So, what about us? What do we do now?
The Margrave will certainly want to talk to you, but the earliest he'll be back at the fortress will be tomorrow. I hope until then, you won't refuse my offer of a bed for them.
Just an offer. So you'd let us...
Well, the Margrave did ask me to look after you until he returns, for the sake of security.
Whose security?
Good question.
Ah, so be it. I could...
Thank you for the warm welcome.
It's the least I could do, lad. My fortress is open to all the king's supporters, even if that does make it a bit crammed.
Sir, there's still one more thing we came for. Lord von Burgov is holding my lord, Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein, hostage. And we also have to warn Jobst's ally, John of Liechtenstein. Do you know anything about those two?
Sorry, I don't. I didn't even know von Burgau had come here until you told me. And I've heard nothing.
Which is actually good news. If he'd been caught and executed, the word would be all over the region. So there's a strong...
I suppose I ought to get to bed.
I had some chambers prepared for all of you. Yours is right here in the palace. Cross that corridor and go up the stairs. You can't miss it. There's a garland above the door. But first, eat your fill. All of you. And maybe you... I told my servant Susanna to prepare baths for you. The baths are in the little house...
Excuse me.
How can I help you, sir?
What do you have for sale?
I'm glad you found what you needed, sir. What brings you here?
Lord Pisek said we could have a bath here?
Yes, sir. I prepared the hot water and fragrant oils myself. And I'll wash your clothes as well.
Thank you.
You needn't thank me, sir. And now, if you'll allow me, I'll help you undress.
So you got your revenge. Father, did it make you feel any better? It did. So what comes next?
Mark von Aulitz is next. Then von Berghoff.
And is that what you really want, son? No matter how many people you kill, you can't change what's happened.
It's what I want.
Are you sure, Henry?
What's happening? Why are you waking me up? You again?
Yes, the Margrave is calling for you, sir. You and the other gent.
You mean Zizka?
I suppose. I don't know what his name is, but he's waiting down in the courtyard. I'm just on my way to tend to his wounds.
And what about
That's the good wife who arrived with you? I don't know.
Very well.
Before you go, I brought you something for... Oh, have I been too bold?
No. Do you need anything else?
No, sir.
So, why are you standing here?
You haven't dismissed me, sir.
I'm not a nobleman. You don't have to stand on ceremony with me.
I do, since you're a guest of the Margrave, sir. May I leave?
That is... yes, of course.
Thank you, sir.
Christ be praised. Good to see you, friend.
I apologize.
Exactly. Let me tell you, I'd rather die poor but young than to go through that.
Have a good day. You see, meine Dame, we aren't idle here. My men train like that every day.
Admirable. If Sigismund and his army happened to turn up, you'd have 2 warriors.
But why would he come here?
Why wouldn't he? Lord Pisak used to be the king's mintmaster. And hello, the Worth Henry of Skalitz. I'm just holding a discussion with the captain here about his desolate fortress.
That's not how I'd put it. In the end, as mein Großvater said, the strength of a castle is measured by its garrison. And mine is one of the best in the region. What do you say, lad? Am I right?
Aye. I have to admit, the soldiers here look pretty fearsome. I wouldn't want to come up against them in...
I get the feeling you'd run instead of facing them, though. Eh?
Leave him be, meine Dame. Nobody with any sense would take on my men.
Now look here, I was just being polite. I'd happily...
Ach ja?
Do you fancy yourself a knight?
Come, Junge. We'll stuff your clothes with straw, so you don't come to any harm, and let you have a go against... Pulcock, come here!
You've no chance against me!
Shut up!
Greetings. What brings you here?
Excellent, Henry.
It was nothing.
Gut gemacht. You have my admiration. You really are good with the sword. I hope my idiots learn the thing.
You should receive some kind of reward for that.
And what rewards would you...
I was rearranging our saddlebags, and I remembered I took a small memento from Trotsky.
Oh. What is it?
A hunting crossbow. I even think it's fun. I was meaning to sell it, but...
My word. I better go and find Zizka. The morgue...
I saw Zizka next to the stables. There was some girl hanging around him.
Do you want to come with us to see Jobst?
Not really. I have a feeling we'll have to leave.
Why?
A woman's intuition.
It's strange, crooked, like a letter from a fancy book.
This. I fell off the battlements of Luxembourg.
And were you conquering or defending that castle, sir?
Well, depends on how you look at it. We were storming a wine cellar, you see.
Ah, I do see. Only maybe you shouldn't go around telling people that, sir. It doesn't sound too heroic.
So what? Heroes like to have a drink too, now and again. I've got loads of scars from real battles anyway. Like here, on my other arm. A groom hit me with a crossbow nearby Yitchin. The boy was nearly 15. Poor fella.
That's how I lost my sweetheart.
Someone shot him?
No, he shot someone else.
Ah, I see.
And what about your eyebrow, sir? It seems a bit crooked. Do you have a scar there too?
Aye. I nearly lost my eye.
Also in battle?
No, I was a lad. I made a bet with some friends that I could run all the way down the Devil's Slope without stopping once. That's what we call this one really steep hill. Once you started down it, you either had to run all the way to the bottom, or tumble all the way there.
And you went tumbling?
I did nothing of the sort. I ran down. But as I was celebrating, prancing about like a deer, I tripped on a root. I landed on my head and cracked it open on a stump. An inch or two off, and I'd have lost that eye.
How are things, Captain?
What do you think? I've seen better days. And you, youngster?
Me?
Just wait until you've been through as much as I...
Nah, don't say that. You still have your strength. A real man of iron.
A damned rusty one, I'd say. But enough chat. I see Jobst has returned to the fort.
That's why I'm here. I wanted to take Catherine along, too.
But she's doing the right thing. And you better run ahead and greet the Margrave.
You want me to go on my own?
So what? You already know him better than I do. You met him in Ratai. I only know what I've heard about him.
All right, but he sent for us both.
A bit odd, I suppose. But you must understand, I'm doing this for our benefit. The less time I spend with a Margaret.
All right, then. What about that drive?
No, nobody asked him where he was going. But it seems they're hoping. I'm not surprised. He might.
I'll be going.
Watch and learn.
Here, Mutt.
I'm just getting started.
Henry. Where's Captain Zizka?
He got held up.
I received a report that von Bergov's banner is flying in the camp of my dear cousin Sigismund, so I assume the negotiations at Trotsky didn't go too smoothly.
No, sir. I don't have good news for you, I'm afraid.
Well, good or bad, I'm sure you have plenty to report. So what happened with von Bergov at Trotsky?
Bergov had no interest in our message. By the time we finally arrived at Trotsky, he'd already long since made a deal with Sigismund. But of course, he didn't tell Sir Hans and me anything. And on top of that, he used us to do his dirty work. Everything went to hell in the end, and we ended up in a dungeon. Or at least I did. They took Lord Capon away. In fact, that's why we're here. We were following von Bergov's trail.
So I've heard. But I'd be interested to know the details. It's been some time since our meeting in Ratai, and now you appear here by the side of a quite unexpected guest.
An unexpected guest?
Yes, of course, I've heard of Zizka before. And of his... But I don't know where you know him from.
We met outside Trotsky. In rather we crossed swords. I can only thank God we didn't kill each other.
And who was giving Zizka...
I think it's some Jan Sokol of Lamberg?
That would make sense. He was always quite pig-headed.
Forgive me, my lord, but how is it possible you don't know? Aren't you all on the same side?
Bear in mind that my dear cousin, His Majesty King Wenceslas, has many supporters. and each of them has their own ideas about how to defend him.
I understand. It seems complicated.
On the contrary, it's all quite simple. If I could get them all together in one banquet hall, give them their fill of wine and venison, they'd come to an agreement on the spot. Let's move on. I heard something about a pillory and poaching. What in God's name did you and Sir Hans get up to?
Things went wrong right from the beginning. We were ambushed, and we lost the letter. Lord Capon and I were lucky to get out of it alive. But no one at Trotsky believed that we were messengers.
Von Berghoff refused to aid a nobleman in need. That seems pretty low for a man of his stature.
Well, to be honest, Lord Capon didn't really look much like a nobleman. We were ambushed while bathing in a pond, and then we fled through the woods. So we really looked like a pair of beggars.
Ah, that must have been a peculiar feeling for Lord Capon.
You can't even imagine it, Your Grace.
I certainly cannot, in truth. In any case, are you sure there's nothing else you want to tell me?
And this scar, it's...
Our thing.
What are you...
Me?
Just...
Nah.
Better...
That's why I wanted to...
She's... the...
What about...
No, I'm not...
Are you...
I always expect... And the way things are these days, I'd rather have horses standing by, even on a visit to...
I'll be going. Burgot by the top of every... In fact, that's what...
So I've heard it's been...
Well, it wasn't the best circumstances to meet Zhizkid. They sent him to the Trotsky region to cause problems, and our paths happened to cross. We crossed swords. I think it's...
That would make sense.
Forgive me, my lord. Aren't you all on the same side?
Bear in mind that my dear cousin, His Majesty, and each...
That might not end well. My ma used to say, when two different people do the same thing...
Your mother was clearly a wise woman. Nonetheless, I've heard you've had another proverb in Bohemia. Too many dogs means death for the hare.
Well, if the same applies to the ginger fox, I'm all for it.
Time will tell. Let's move on. I heard something about a pillory and poaching. What?
Ah, it was nothing really. Just a bit of trouble.
You regard the pillory as just a bit of trouble. You must live... In any case, are you...
Berg by the top, of course, everything. In fact, that's all.
It's...
And
Yes, of course, but I...
we cross. Forgive, aren't you?
A bear, and...
That might.
Your mother. Nonetheless, I...
Well, if the
Time will... Let's move on.
We were ambushed, and we only just got out of it alive.
Von Berghoff refused to aid a nobleman.
Well, to be honest, we were ambushed while bathing in a pond. And then we fled.
Ah,
Not only for him, sir. I may be just a bastard, but that doesn't mean I'm used to begging at Castle Gate.
believe me, I didn't intend in the least to make such an... In any case, are you sure there's nothing else you...
Well, you should probably know that Istvan Toth was working for von Berghoff.
Who's he?
One of Sigismund's cronies. He was causing havoc around Rattay.
Ah, yes. Hanush and Radzig mentioned some such person. They even foolishly let him go.
They had to. They gave him their word.
Yes. Well, it's actually quite heartening that some people still have such naive ideas about them.
Well, no one let him go this time.
Very good. From what I've heard, he was a bandit and a cutthroat. There should be no dealings with...
Isn't Zhishka a bandit?
Zhishka is loyal to Wenceslas. So he's no bandit or cutthroat, but a faithful servant of our king. Okay, but let's move on.
That's all that happened, sir.
Truly, my court messenger and bearer of tidings, both good and bad, John of Liechtenstein, has mysteriously gone silent. So every piece of information... By the way, you said you were in von Berghoff's dungeon. And tell me, did you reveal...
Well, although it wasn't me who told him, von Berghoff did get certain information.
What information?
About Liechtenstein. That he's in Kuttenberg. And what he's doing there. I'm really sorry, sir, but... Well, they tortured us.
That is truly unfortunate. But you've nothing to be ashamed of. I think it's too much to expect anyone to hold their tongue under torture.
But Lord Liechtenstein... What if they killed him because of us?
John went straight into the lion's den. He knew the risks. Thank you for the news. You're free to go if you want. But I would be glad if you stayed at the fortress. As soon as it's possible, you can join a legation heading for Rattay. I'm sure you already want...
What? Go home? I have to rescue Sir Hans. I made
a noble thought. But you mustn't worry about Lord Capon. I'm sure von Berghoff...
But I made a promise.
I understand, but honestly, Lord Capon is now safer than... The most sensible course now is to wait for the ransom.
Margrave.
Ah, Captain Zhishka. Henry and I were just discussing Lord Capon.
Yeah, the Margrave thinks he's in no danger, and we should wait for a ransom demand.
As one does.
I wanted to talk to you about something else. I suppose you're wondering why your friend Hinnek, also known as the Dried Devil, isn't here?
Oh, there's plenty of gossip going on around the fortress. You and Pisek refused to grant him asylum.
Asylum is for those in distress, Captain. Hinnek came to burn and pillage. I have quite different plans.
And what might those be, Margrave? Sitting and talking while King Wenceslas rots in a dungeon. What would I expect? Not so long ago, you were conspiring with Sigismund against Prokop, your own brother.
It would be futile trying to explain to you the intricacies of the Luxembourg's dynastic politics. Let me just explain that that was what was called for in the situation. But I assure you that I am now acting in the best interests of this country and of King Wenceslas.
You're acting first and foremost in your own interests. Everyone knows that.
Strong words coming from a man who earns his bread by killing merchants on the road. No offense intended. I applaud your art. The pen is mightier than the sword, but there are times when it's vice versa. Enter!
All ready to leave now, sir?
Good. It's high time. I expect the captain was about to leave anyway. Are you not?
With pleasure.
And you, Henry?
Me? Well, sir, I made a promise.
I understand. I won't attempt to keep you here by force. But bear in mind, I have concluded a very fragile truce with Sigismund, which gives us time to get ready. And if anyone should disrupt my plans with headstrong acts of violence, there will be consequences. Grave consequences. I consider this matter closed. Farewell and good luck.
I get the feeling Yopes didn't make a great impression on you. Are we leaving?
Yeah. And Henry's going with us.
Wait, you'll help me find Capon?
Sure. But we'll need people for that. And information. Catherine, I've got a job for you.
Yes?
Go to Kuttenberg. Find out what happened to Liechtenstein. If anyone knows what's going on in this godforsaken country, it'll be him. In the meantime, we'll go and find Dry Devil and his band.
Good luck. I'd go all the way to Rome to spy if it kept me away from the devil.
Let's go!
Stay close. The devil doesn't know you, but he should recognize me, even like this, unless he's too drunk.
What is your plan, anyway? Go from village to village, hamlet to hamlet, until we find him?
That won't be necessary. We just have to visit places where you can get booze.
Oh, so all the taverns and dens in the region?
If it comes to that.
I'm up for that.
Don't get your hopes up. We'll have a beer, listen to the local rumor mill, and if we don't find anything, we'll pay up and move on.
Where do we start?
I have heard of a place that's a favored meeting spot of bandits, poachers, and all kinds of scum. If I was looking for the devil, or at least someone who knows something about him, that's where I'd go.
Sounds like a good place to start. And if we find the devil, what then?
If we're really to step on Sigismund's toes, we need capable men. And the devil's capable. of anything, really.
I'm not sure what the three of us can achieve.
Hinek's not alone. He has the devil's pack.
Who?
That's what his band is called. They're exactly the sort of men we need.
And what do you have in mind when you say step on Sigismund's toes? What about Liechtenstein and Capon?
The same thing we did to von Berghoff. But don't worry. It's going to take a lot of time before we're ready. In the meantime, hopefully Catherine will find out where young Liechtenstein is hiding. If his spy network really lives up to the legend, he'll surely know where they're keeping young Capon.
I hope so. And when he's free, then we can step on Sigismund's toes. I'm sure Lord Capon will be happy to help.
In that case, he'd be better off staying in captivity. So, what do you say? Should we speed up?
The road's quiet. The surroundings are pretty. Why rush? At least we won't be so conspicuous.
If you say so.
Shouldn't we speed up? We won't get there before dark like this.
What's the matter? Don't you want to enjoy the scenery?
I changed my mind. We really should pick up the pace.
We're here. I hope our journey doesn't prove to be a pain. Keep your hand on your hilt, Henry.
Look what I have for you.
Yeah, you never know what might happen.
I warned you had it coming, you drunk.
Hang on. I didn't see it. Does feel better when I've had a drink. It's a gift from God.
Either you pay us back our coin, or you can leave your head with us.
You wouldn't get a crossing for an alternative mine.
You're right about that.
I'd have a use for that turnip. But I can only pay for it with iron.
Shiska?
You turn on your heel and get going. If you value your life. You might have noticed there's more of us than you.
That can be fixed.
I'll kill you! Mercy!
Do I have to pull you out of trouble again? I see you're still a drunkard.
It's good to see you too, Shiska. What happened to...
That doesn't matter now.
Huh? Who's that? Where's your old band?
You're looking at all that's left of it.
I see we have a lot to talk about.
That we do. Anyway, this is Henry. Henry, this is Kubienka.
Hiya, lad. And thanks for the help. You'll hand me with a sword.
Thanks.
Not that I couldn't handle them myself.
He would be one of the best archers north of the Alps. If he wasn't drunk or with one arm in the stocks all the time.
Shouldn't we leave before someone notices the corpses?
Easy, lad. This was the devil's den. If we behave ourselves, the innkeeper will just charge us a cleaning fee, and that will be that.
There will be plenty of time to get acquainted with the local customs. We're looking for the devil. Where is he?
Well, when I said we have a lot to talk about, now is the time. This is the innkeeper, Dreadlight.
Gentlemen, I won't have this. You're murdering my guests and making a mess.
They started it.
They've been drinking on credit for half a day. Who's going to pay for this now?
If you search their pockets and sell their weapons, that should cover it. And I have a feeling Kubienka here owed them some dice winnings.
I didn't cheat.
Pay him.
All right, then. What did I do to deserve you? Here you go.
Ah, I see you are a nobleman and a generous one at that. You didn't have to, but thank you. I'm much obliged. You don't need to worry about anything. We'll clear away the corpses, pour some sand on the blood, and no one will know what happened here.
That's nice of you. But leave us alone now.
Nobody will be looking for them anyway. Only the catchpoles would be interested in them. You might even get a reward.
Did you hear Lord Shiska?
Yes, I did. Of course. I'm leaving. Just call if you need anything.
Can he be trusted? He looks like he'd be happy to rat us out the first chance he gets.
Treadlight? I don't think so. They'd arrest him as well as if he went to snitch on us. If you keep paying him, he'll serve you.
If you say so. So, what's up with the devil?
That won't be easy. He got locked up.
What? They captured the devil?
Do you know where they're keeping him?
Why? The town guard took him. So he's probably...
Fuck. There's no way...
My words. Otherwise, we would have gotten him away from those fuckers. So not even a mouse can get in there. We can't pull off something like that.
Who captured him?
How should I know?
Shit, Kubianka, you must know who came after you and why.
Well, we botched this job in Kuttenberg. It was supposed to be a breeze, but the fuckers outnumbered. It's 3-1. Before we could react, they knocked the devil down and pounded on him like a deaf man on a door. Ada and I tried to help him, but we just... Fuck. It pisses me off that we had to leave him there. But we would have been captured.
How long has it been since he...
I've been sitting here drinking ever since it happened. So, maybe...
A month? They haven't hanged him yet.
That's the thing. The devil's famous. Lots of people want him dead. But they won't give him the news or the... They want to send his soul to the Lord in a much... The devil is a proper bastard. But not even he...
What are they planning to do with...
The devil's got a fat price on his head. He's the most feared robber baron in Bohemia. There are several empty tents in Sigismund's camp, thanks to him. They really want to relish his death. They'll take him to their camp outside of town for that.
Who told you that?
When someone owes you a dice wager, they'll spill him what they don't. They say the people of Kuttenberg can't wait to...
If they're going to move him, that could be our chance. We'll wait for them and free the...
He will be watched by a dozen armed guards. We're only 3. So unless you have 10 men up...
I thought the devil would have at least 10 men. But other than that, it makes sense. I don't think...
I was going to hire some muscle for help here, but I got...
More like I know you. But maybe we'll find someone around here. Can you think of anything else that...
Well, how about some hand cannons?
Have you got some?
Well, not on me. But maybe there are some in...
Maybe?
Maybe. Surely. If I can remember where we hit them. And...
What place is that?
This narrow gully with a nice curve that backs for something nasty to happen in it. West of here, you can't...
Looks like there's still some sense left in your...
And what about me?
You'll go with Kubianka to get the hand cannons. He may be... surely... hit.
Great!
Don't dilly-dally. And when you have them, meet me at the ambush spot. Keep an eye on him. And don't let him talk your ear off.